podcast. Today you're joined by myself, Emma Cole, and I'm a business coach from UK Growth Coach, the amazing Claire Forth from Forth Accountancy, and the equally as amazing and also adorable Elaine Tibbetts from Tibbetts Communication. And today, in today's podcast, we're going to talk about emotional intelligence and why it's really important to understand what it means as a business owner and what it can really do for you within your business. So you might have heard of emotional intelligence before. Emotional intelligence is how you connect with people through words, actions and deeds. And in fact, there's 4 types of intelligence. We've got IQ, which you might have heard of or been measured on when we were at school. EQ, which is our emotional intelligence. SQ, which is how we socially interact with people. And AQ is how we deal with adversity and difficult situations. So all in all, quite a lot about emotional intelligence. So, emotional intelligence in the business. What do we think, girls? Why is it important for us as business owners?
Well, we have differing views.
We do.
Well,
I think we come to the same view, but from different approaches.
And I think that's a good example of where emotional intelligence in the business is important to understand, because you need to dig into different areas of your emotional intelligence when you're thinking of different things. So with finance, we're maybe looking at you being able to, put to one side knee-jerk reactions, using that immediate emotional response to having to make a decision, to sitting back, being cautious, being considerable of other factors within your business, and making a less emotional decision.
Whereas with marketing, you're making considered decisions on how to pull those emotional triggers of your customer.
Gosh.
And create those knee-jerk reactions from your customer to come and buy from you.
So really almost polar opposites, how to get that heart and feeling of buying and wanting, and then actually then tempering that desire to maybe take that really quick reaction and almost take that metaphoric breath and review before you decide to take action. So so instantly thinking about business ownership, you need to be able to use it in 2 really extreme circumstances and instances, and then be able to flex back to just the normal day-to-day.
Yeah, I think it's how you use it personally within your business, about being measured, controlled, and understanding where your business is going and trying not to make those knee-jerk reactions. Whereas thinking about it from what you're trying to drive from in terms of buying or people purchasing from you, even not buying, and people purchasing from you, you're trying to create them to have that emotional connection with you and build on hearts and minds and trigger their emotional intelligence to come and work with you or buy from you.
Yeah, that we want to be part of this.
Yeah.
We understand what they stand for. Big tick. And as you say in finance, sometimes it is that, okay, it might not look great, or we might think actually it does look really great, let's go on a spending spree. And I certainly, hands up in the past, have done that.
One of the good spenders.
You like buying trolleys though, don't you?
I've only bought one. One was gifted.
Oh, okay. Fine.
That's from my dad.
But you can make then those decisions really quickly yourself. You think, gosh, the world looks really rosy. I've got quite a healthy bank balance in my business. I could go on a bit of acquisition or a shopping spree. What's that really mean? And actually, with finance, sometimes it's about understanding a bit more about the longevity.
It is.
Where that's going to take you, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's also about business owner being able to step back and being able to understand your long-term, medium-term and short-term. So short-term, cash rich, we've wanted to invest in this, that, the other, or pay yourself a little bit extra for a month, because let's face it, as business owners, it's usually ourselves that go last. But in the medium and long term, what your plans are, you need to be putting something aside, keeping a bit of that cash for, a potential new employee for capacity, or, in medium term where your computers need replacing. And I think that's where working with a business coach like yourself really helps you to start thinking about, what's my plan? Because it's in here, it's always in your head, and a lot of it's in your heart, and in my case sometimes pure adrenaline. But you've got to, it's got to be down and out there, so that actually it can help you make those decisions better, because you're being emotionally intelligent about looking at the way you grow and build your business, which then helps you understand how you want to trigger, what you want to trigger for marketing.
What marketing is going to give you.
And where, what percentage do you have left to spend and be frivolous?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a really good point about forming plans and strategies. And all of us, in all of our guises across our different types of businesses, or talk to any of our clients or prospective clients about having a strategy.
Yeah.
So a plan of action, a plan of understanding, and a plan of doing, because we can all have this infinite amount of thought, but it changes and it becomes less important, or it falls off our agenda, or we forget all about it. But having something committed in terms of a plan with those short, mid and long-term objectives allows you to be far more effective in terms of achieving them. About 80% more likely to achieve things when we actually commitment to some form of plan.
Yeah, no, that's a really high percentage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, can't believe that.
I love a good plan in marketing. I've got to be honest, I do like a nice plan. It gives you it gives you direction, but also allows you to measure and evaluate how things are performing or working within the business, whether that is marketing or something else.
Yeah.
It allows you to have that facility and capacity to do that, because otherwise you're just doing things and you don't understand, you don't know why you're doing them, and then you don't know how to evaluate them.
Yeah, it's looking at that return on investment. And I think so many people hear those words and just think, oh, financial, but actually, your return on investment is measured when you look at the success you've had on a marketing campaign, how many emails have been opened for this, how much did I spend on that, with MailChimp or something on that marketing campaign, how much have I spent sending out marketing information, and how much have I got back from that. So return on investment is across the business, and determining those key areas that you want to see return on with a plan, either that be through growth, marketing, finance, HR,
it's all of those key things.
I think, and it can also, as a business owner, make you feel really good when you can sit back and look at what you've achieved with those different data points.
So often we don't actually take that moment to reflect on our success, because we've been so driven by the here and now, and we all know that we can have those moments where all of us step into being too in the business and not on the business. But plans allow us to be on, and they allow us to give that focus as to what's doing, and then reflect on the success, because all too often we're very hard on ourselves, not only sometimes we're the worst paid employees ourselves, but also we can be quite tough on ourselves and not see how far we've come with things. And that's where having external support can really help you take that measured view of, this is where you were, this is where we are now. That's, that can be a seismic change, and have a massive effect and impact on your business.
Absolutely. And I think that external support for a business owner should come from multiple support areas. And I think what's really great, and what we should encourage, and as we do as success sculptors for people to do, is to get the best support that fits their business.
Absolutely.
And anyone you bring on board is a cheerleader, really, whether that is your marketing, whether it's a part-time bookkeeper, whether it's an employee. Make sure that you've got a value alignment, and someone's going out there cheerleading you, because they're your best salespeople then.
Of course
You should always think about, I think, recruiting those people as though you recruit them into your business as a permanent employee, because that way you'll get the right person that fits with your business. Otherwise you're in danger of just using people who aren't aligned. They're not always going to look out for your best interest, or come to you and go, do you know what, actually, I know we're saying that we're doing like X, we agreed X amount. Well, actually, over the last few months, I've been doing the same level of work. I've been doing all the work, but I've been doing it for this much, and it's like 3 hours under or whatever. And have those conversations, but there has to be that trust to do that.
Yeah.
But by having those conversations, you realise that person is best invested in your business.
Yeah, and that's when emotional intelligence in finance can come in, because, for example, your business is busy, you need some extra support in, you want to outsource something, and you're busy, so you get 3 quotes. You don't really spend any time looking into the background of those companies that you could be using. You just go with the best quote, and you haven't taken the time to consider your decision, because actually none of them might be appropriate for your business, but one of them might be, and they might be charging slightly more, but actually you're going to get the best return from them.
Absolutely.
I think I've had a couple of clients since I've been in business where they have, I guess, been taken in a little bit by emails that come through. So, you know, you get those emails about, oh, you're not ranking top of SEO, you know, we can get you ranking there in the next 10, or, you know, we've got this massive data list, you can get it for this much. And I've had a couple of clients that have kind of gone and invested in that and realised that they paid for the service, but then actually it's not delivered what was promised. And then I think there's been that mindful of where those people, like that there are people out there like that, and just because they're saying that you can get something for nothing or they can do a job, you really need to be looking at who they are, what references, what's their credibility, and just doing a bit more research into them rather than just take them on face value.
Yeah, I think you're right. That kind of peel away just that next layer of the onion skin and understand. You talked about values earlier, Elaine, how important it is if you can align. We know all of us have had moments where values haven't aligned, and whilst you can work together, it's never with the same level of success when there's a little bit of friction. And that emotional intelligence piece says, you know, we understand, don't just take the best offer in terms of the cheapest, take the offer that's right for you. So understand that person, understand and try and build a level of rapport, because that's where the magic happens. And actually, you know, when we use third parties, I think absolutely bob on to say they need to be a fit for your team, because in essence, exactly what they are. They're part of your team. And there's some wise, sage-like words that are out there that says, hire slow, fire fast, and that's probably very true for any level of recruitment or adding services to your business as a whole.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And I guess it's not just about adding, well, it is about adding like the right thing into your business, but it's also, I think, building your business so you're resilient when times get tough, because as any new business or small business, you will go through periods where times get tough, and how can you make sure that your business is resilient and you have things in place that you can ring fence at the appropriate time, and then you can let the, you know, brakes off as things start to get a little bit better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And whilst the pandemic was, you know, something we were unlikely to see for another 100 years or so, there will be other...
We might not see it then.
No.
I plan to be here. No.
You know, there's going to be other economic, other economic changes from external sources, and these economic changes happen so much from political rather
changes
than other types of changes now. And being able to ensure your business is financially organisationally stable from a area of understanding your plan, being able to adapt your plan, being able to change, being able to have contacts and supports that can help you access finance you may need, you know, good relationship with your bank. Can you have that these days? I don't know.
I think it's a challenge sometimes.
A relationship with the bank.
Oh no, I was just thinking, you know.
Maybe we're stretching it a bit far.
I think we're stretching it a bit far, but I think building those areas and getting people to think about resilience and, just having time when you're looking at your business planning, how resilient is this? You know, how adaptive is my marketing strategy?
Yeah, how resilient is your finances? You know, where are we going with that? You know, that money that we were tempted to go shopping with, did we put it by and we have that as a bit of a pot to make sure that we are bulletproof? Because when those grenades are chucked over the wall, which they inevitably happen in the business world, we go within cycles, you need to know that you've got, you know, the ability to be best protected. Not just yourself, but your business as a whole and all those people that are part of it. So, everything needs to be really, really nailed down and thought about.
And this year, I think, is a year of quite a lot of change. Massive change from a world and economy perspective.
Yeah.
You only have to think, you know, we've had a new government in, France has been on the brink as well.
Yeah.
America,
Germany,
Italy, Germany,
yeah.
India. So there's like all countries that we do work with, and people and other businesses will work with on
Yeah,
a one-on-one
across
basis. That does have a massive impact over the whole economy, ultimately, in the world. And how do you protect your business during what is going to be, I know we've already got our new government in place, but still all the policies haven't come through yet. So and until we get the autumn budget, you know, things are going to be a little bit turbulent for probably the next 6 to 12 months until things start to settle down for us. And with like America then having a new president from January, it's all going to be a bit of flux.
A bit more state of flux, isn't it? That kind of moving feast still, and we're yet to actually steady the ship. But we as business owners can take responsible for our own ship, whilst we can't affect external, sources. Unfortunately, we have to make sure. If only we could, wouldn't we be genius? But you know, we have to look after what we can, and that is about being dutiful and saying, right, am I, truly resilient? So, for instance, I quite often talk to business owners that only have 1 or 2 suppliers that feed them. Well, that's not a great place to be. Yeah. So to be resilient, you do need a plan A, but you need a plan B and a plan C.
Absolutely.
As well, to think about, if I couldn't buy from this person, what would my world look like? And that is about building resilience and saying, I need to have that level of detail. I need to have that thought process. And I need to be able to understand what it even is as a thought process. So maybe I need to speak to some gurus out there and ask them some great questions about, what do I need to be concerned about or build?
And that's where the emotional intelligence side comes in with resilience.
Absolutely.
And how the two start to marry up and blend, because if you're emotionally intelligent in terms of from a financial perspective and from what's going on within your own business world, micro world, then you'll be able to make sure that you put in the right steps.
Yeah. And you can do so much in advance, and are you finance ready?
Yeah.
Are you having regular management accounts? Do you understand your balance sheet? Is everything, recorded properly, so that if and when the time does come for new investment or that loan to secure some core supply changes, are you ready to go with it?
Now, I think now is always the best time to take action, isn't it? Because all too often we find ourselves working with business owners that are being really reactive. They're having to deal with worst case scenarios or difficult circumstances, challenging situations, and they're really looking for that, I need a solution, I need that band-aid and then some on today. Now is the right time to actually go, let's be strategic, let's plan those things, let's link in, as you say beautifully, to our emotional intelligence and say, we know we've got some choppy seas ahead. We know that there's an autumn statement looming. We know we've got presidential and political changes ahead. What do we need to do? How can we go about it? How can we really make sure that we are bulletproof, or as much as bulletproofness as it can be?
Yeah, definitely.
So I guess one of those ways is maybe having a session with us, coming to one of our events, or
perfect,
coming to any future networking that we could be running and challenge us.
We as a group of business owners work really well together because we've got this wonderful alignment with our values. All of us are about actually helping and supporting one another and the businesses and the clients that we work with. And that's why coming along to one of our events, whether it be a workshop, a networking event, is a great place to come along and ask maybe some questions. Or maybe even say, I don't know what maybe the right question is, but I have this kind of feeling that maybe I need to do something, and we can go, have you ever thought about, business owners like you?
And that's what we're about. And we may joke and laugh about, cheerleading and things like that. But actually, as success sculptors and the people that come along to our events, everyone's in the room to support your business.
Absolutely.
And to help it grow. Everyone's got the right focus. And, when you're around people that have got focus, it kind of, you absorb it, don't you?
It's like
absorb
osmosis, isn't it?
Yeah.
You feel the energy, you can bounce off it, and you can take that positivity. And that's then like its own part of business leverage. That room of positive people supporting and uplifting you.
And you'll find your own group of collaborators
Of course.
as well from those of people who come along who might share similar values, who can support your business in other ways that maybe we can't facilitate at the moment.
No.
We've got to be honest, we're 3 people.
We're good.
We're not going to gel with everybody, but you don't know who might be there in the room that you can build a network with and create your own.
Because the power of one versus the power of many, we all know that the power of one, we've got those supportive networks, is second to none. It's really where we see growth happen across businesses.
And it can be lonely if you're somebody like myself or Emma. We work on our own. Whilst we work with other businesses, we actually are just us in the business. So therefore, you've got that support to bounce off. And Claire, when we first met, Claire was on her own. Now her business is absolutely
She's
growing
built an
and
empire.
flying. I know this office won't be big enough soon.
No.
But also, if you are a business with employees, and we had a great roundtable discussion at our last event, and a couple of the people that attended it was, how do I need to do something with this employee because they're not productive enough. How do I have that difficult conversation? How do I tap into my emotional inner strength to make that a constructive conversation? And that's what's important is we get a mix of people in the room.
From multiple employees to solopreneurs to massive growth to just starting up, and there's value in all of those different people being in the room, because everybody will have something to input and share, which will help definitely. The roundtable discussion we had at our last event was great. Really talking about those challenges, because when we talk about managing a team, the irony of the old statement of your greatest asset, biggest cost is not any less out of date now than it was all those years ago. It's still really current and valuable that we understand people are important, and how do we manage them in the most effective and intelligent way through a process or through our business, either in or out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you have to remember that people can change.
Of course they can.
And whilst they might be right for your business when you first employed them,
Of course.
that can evolve and they can end up not being the right person.
No, and there's brave conversations, because actually all of our team as business owners look at us to manage those, and when we don't, that's so detrimental, because they're like, I was expecting Claire or Emma or Elaine to do something, because we're not in a great place, and that person is now feels really unaligned with the business. How do we either draw them back in or love and let go in a way that allows the business to move forward and evolve? Because that's what businesses need to do. We can't stagnate. We need to be moving forward.
Always moving forward.
Always.
Definitely. No dinosaurs here, not in this room. Brilliant. Guys, thank you so much. I think there's some real wealth of knowledge in there. I'd love for you all, as with the rest of the team, Elaine and Claire, to come and attend one of our events. If you want to ask us questions, we've got a website you can visit with a contact form, so please fill that in and reach out and ask us anything that you think you'd like some help and support at.
Because we do love hearing from people in business.
Yeah.
It's our passion.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. I love it. I love hearing about new businesses.
Yeah.
Or any business. And what you're doing. New businesses, but new as in
New to us.
Yeah, that's the word.
I think actually that's one of the most exciting things about all of our roles. That as much as we have our own type of business, we get to interface with some amazingly diverse, inspiring, motivated business owners. So reach out. We'd love to, say hi. If we haven't met you yet, come along to an event. Come and ask us questions. All of us are really happy to help you in any way we can.